because it's our business, you know, like we have partnership with youth ministry. Actually, they give us like every year we put like 60 work camps. Work camps, we have 20. So we have grants for food. We have, you know, partnership with the city. This is Ephraim. This is town very close to where we be. It's snowing in winter. It shows like it's Europe. If you see it, you think you are in Europe. But if you go further, you will see that you are in Africa. This is the Mediterranean. And Morocco, France, and Spain, the three countries, they have two oceans. So the food will be free, and the stay will be free. You have nothing to pay. The 9 organizations, like umac organization and the other organization, human rights organization, will help. This is like, it was the King Palace in Fez. Now it's like touristic place.
Questions? Go ahead. Okay. First hands again, yes. Okay.
Can I have true information? The first one, can you give us the flight information, the connection and the cost?
Okay. So connection to Morocco, there are like 3 huge airports. There is Casablanca, and there is Marrakesh and Tangier. But from Fez, lately, like maybe 5 years ago, no airport. Fez airport, it's like became international airport. It's far from where we be, like 12 kilometers. And the flights come straight from Europe. They come from Germany, they come from France, and from Spain, Italy, from all Europe to Fez. And when you get there, you will find someone waiting for you. We will have the bus in our disposition. So there is flight from, you know, Europe to Fez if you want. From America, if you come from America, you have to be in Casablanca, and from Casablanca you come to Fez.
You know the cost?
Same thing. From Alger, same thing. You go to Casablanca, and from Casablanca you find someone who will pick you up to Fez.
Do you have idea what the cost?
The cost for what?
Flight.
The flight depends. If you come in high season, there is high season, low season. If you come in summertime, it's very expensive. If you come between January and March, we left it open because we do win program all year long. It's not just because CCIVS, but all year long we have activities. We have group coming and going. So we left the date open, but I suggest to come before, will be before June, because June is crazy season, it's high season. But there is always an online cheaper flight. Well, you know, like from Spain, couldn't be like 200, 300.
So you're proposing March? Do you understand this correctly?
No, I'm a little bit open. I said I proposed March, but when I talked to Martina, I said it's open. When the CCIVS sees it's like it's the right time, then just we have to know before, like we have 2 years ago.
Because I think October would make much more sense, all things considered.
Yes.
We discussed this during the last GA specifically, and I appreciate your presentation. I just find it very difficult to concretely imagine how this will happen concretely. Like, do you have a venue in mind, a venue that you used before maybe? Do you have, you mentioned 25,000 euros. How did you calculate 25,000?
Okay, I think you may see it big because you are one organization. You just said you're a small organization. We are 9. We have 50 years experience. And 25,000, that's what we have actually the cost. We don't have to pay it because it's a grant for food. We don't pay, you know, if you have one event, we get a grant for food. It means you just go in and you eat. It's not a big deal because maybe for, you know, one organization, maybe. We are 9 organizations. So the cost we said it's like 50 dirhams actually, 50 dirhams for food for each one. And yes, I will.
But like, do you have a venue in mind?
I said menu.
Venue.
We have venue. We said it's in Fez. It's like we have in Fez we have youth place. It's like for events. We have every time there's some events going on. Like we just had seminar for human rights in the Arab world. It was 100 people. We have like a room for everything is set up for meeting, for translation, and everything is set up.
Can we have, and the look first? No, okay, then.
I did a number of the CCIVS. They're pretty hospitable people. I really like them, very good. And 9 organizations, they can easily do it. There's no way that they cannot. I'm sure they can. And I'm totally trusted. And why can't even buy our tickets?
Yeah, I'm really interested in Morocco, so that's why I'm asking this question. Is it possible to see the venue, the pictures or anything at all, or at least a description of the venue?
Yeah, I can send you email if you want, but with me it's like
It's too late.
Yeah.
To send now, but
the venue. It's a hosting place because it's center. It's center for youth. Usually youth is like for sport event. It's for international meeting. It's like we have dorm. Dorm is usually between 2 and 3 beds in each room, and and we have a big room for conference room. We have like if you wanna have break time, we have we can eat there. It's like a refectoire. You can eat. So it's international place. It's not something like we are just going to build or something. We're just going to rent. It's something there already. We did many activities there. We had one work camp for protection of environment with the UNESCO. We had 120 volunteers from around the world. So we have experience in that stuff.
Thank you. As you know, Fez is a city very close to my heart. But I do have to question why you open your presentation with a map of Morocco, which shows the invasion and annexation of southern Sahara as fact. This is not accepted by the international community. There has been no plebiscite under the auspices of the United Nations. Not even drawn a dotted line around the area. You have just assumed that it's part of Morocco. I find that unacceptable.
I think we're just watching on the maps from around the world and just talking. Morocco, it's Morocco from A to Z. And if there is conflict, it's between Morocco and this is political issue. And if we want to talk about this, we have to put meeting about this. We're talking about hosting and that's all. If we want to talk politics, there is place where to talk about politics. And that's Morocco, and no one can take it away.
I have a question for me to clarify. So, do you get grant from the government to host this event, or is it, let's say, money of the organization? For me, it's important how I decide myself. I will explain later during discussion why I ask this.
Yes, this is a good question. So I said we are a main organization, and every organization has budget for to host and to do work camps. Actually, we do work camps like every weekend. We do short-time work camps. We do activities for disabled people. So from our budget, 9 organizations from our budget, we will put. We have 2 years to go, so we will put the money on the side. Actually, for the food, I said we have agreement with youth, Ministry of Youth of Sport. This is actually it's in Europe too. So the ministry, they give you like grants for the colonial vacances. If you have like work camps, we get grants every month, every year actually for the activities. So for food and stay, it's from the grant from the Ministry of Youth. for the paperwork, for transportation, it's the organization. Non-organization will share the expenses.
Just a remark, we are not going to have a discussion afterwards, so if there is anything to discuss, it is now.
Maybe I can explain why I asked this. There's another application where I could tell the same. We are voluntary organizations, so for me it would be crazy if we use money. This is foreseen for our work, let's say voluntary work, organizing voluntary projects, to organize such a conference where I would say, from our organization's point of view, we are able to spend with at least 200 euro to pay a participation fee. I think for me it would be quite natural, and I don't want to have a kind of competition where you are only able to host an event if you can offer it for free. I think this is maybe not my understanding of cooperation in an international network, even if I think it's nice if an organization can offer it, but for me it was an important information where the money come from. If I understand right, it's coming, most of the part is coming from the government as a kind of grant, so it's a different thing for me. It would be, let's say, it would be crazy for me. I will host an event in 2 years, and now I'm starting to take the money by side. Maybe ask my volunteers for extra fee to cover the costs of a CCIVS conference in 2 years. It would be crazy if we're starting such things in the network. That's why I asked this.
I just have some clear, this is, when we talk about the money, it's budget money. We do events. This is, we do it like we do CCIVS GA over there or not. We have every time event. I just said we had 100 people that just left Morocco now. It's human. Moroccan society, civil society is very active. It's more than political parties. People, they don't trust political party in Morocco, they trust civil rights organization. So we are very active, we have budget. Right now, UMac has budget for over. So we can afford, if we do it tomorrow, we can afford it tomorrow because we have budget in UMac. But the organization will share. We partage the cost. But it's not from government. We're not working for government. We are independent from government. It's kind of grants for event.
Okay. Well, right, it's getting hard. But it's a matter of, just, right, we can discuss for the subject. But I want to just remind you that selection will take introduction. So, this is your question, right?
Actually, I would like to address Madam President. I would like to present a motion to have a little time of discussion about the venues after the presentation. It doesn't have to be long. I don't know if somebody has to second it or to...
So let's finish with the presentations, with the questions, and if there is more need for take like 5 or 10 minutes, we will do
I think it's very important that I present, as a member of this assembly, I present a motion to allow a little bit of time to discuss about this.
You mean now or later?
After the end of the presentation.
After the presentation. Give some specific.